Julie Wadley is a certified life and relationship coach and the owner of Eli Simone, LLC, a boutique matchmaking and coaching firm for bold, brilliant, beautiful Black women. Trained in both the Matchmaking Institute and Relationship Coaching Institute, Julie has learned that the ability to love and be loved is one of the greatest and strongest forces of nature, yet one of the most overlooked and underrated life goals. Infusing her no-nonsense, cut-to-the-chase personality, she challenges women and men to get back to basics on building a fulfilling life. Her mission is to empower those to find and keep love by assessing individual goals and customizing strategies to achieve them. Her goal is to bring out the best in people so they can bring out the best in others. Julie has been featured relationship expert on NBC, CBS, The CW, Time Magazine, Chicago Tribune, and Vice Magazine, and Madame Noir online magazine. Her workshops, e-courses, and programs offer a multitude of practical techniques to bring love to life. Her podcast, While We Wait on SoundCloud, and the whilewewaitpodcast.com is dedicated to helping women turn their dreams into goals in the meantime. A special guest today is Julie. Welcome.
Hello. How are you, beautiful?
I am
well. Yeah, it's springtime. We can start wearing some cute clothes now. So.
Yes, we can. I know,
hopefully
right?
COVID is on its way out of here. So
sure. Springtime, wonderful clothes, but I'm still gonna rock my black. So that's how I go.
Yeah.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. So tell my listeners and viewers a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh. So I have been in this business for about 8 years now, 8 years and some change. It has changed dramatically for me over the years. So it's just been like a really good, actually it's been really great, right? So, before there was no one heard of a Black matchmaker or matchmaking for Black people. They just kind of felt like, oh, that's just something that you see on TV or something for rich other people. And so I have had the pleasure of seeing the industry grow for our community. So for me, I've just 40 years old, decided to start this business because one, I really felt like I wanted to leave my mark. I wanted to help people in a way that wasn't focused on, the bottom line, making money for shareholders that I will never see in my lifetime, and, really touching people at their core. So, it's been a pleasure, these last 8 years.
That's awesome. So 8 years.
Yeah.
And so, did you always know you wanted to be a matchmaker, relationship coach? Like, how did that come about?
I'm going to credit my sister. My sister has always, we've always talked about starting a business, doing things that's kind of like off the cuff. And one weekend in New York, we were just talking as girlfriends and friends and family members do about men. And, why it was so difficult to find a plethora of good men who were interested in dating and interested in long-term commitment and marriage. And so, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna look into this. And my sister was like, yeah, you should really look into this. You should really do this. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I did my research. I didn't see anybody, maybe one person that was doing it specifically for people, for Black people.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why is that? That's a miss, right? So,
and do you know why that is now? Like, why?
It's just not something that we're used to doing. I think in general, anything having to do with personal development wasn't a thing. If it didn't make you money, or it didn't, have a tangible benefit, it's like, what am I doing? Why am I going to spend my money on that? Also, you kind of have that, that, oh, it'll come, baby. Just pray on it. It'll come. Just you focus on your career, you focus on making money, you focus on everything else in life, and it'll come. Well,
Yeah.
that's not, it ain't coming. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I decided that I'm going to be the change that I wish to see and
Mhm.
focus on women who looks like me.
And who are those women?
So my kind of tagline: bold, brilliant, and beautiful Black women, women who are successful, women who have, really taken charge of their life in all other aspects. But for whatever reason, this has been elusive to them.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can control. It's not something that you can, grind to achieve. It's one of those things where you really need to be your authentic self.
Mhm.
And not to say that, Black women aren't that, but I think society has made it difficult for Black women to be their full selves and
Yes.
be kind of like let their guard down and really share and really show their femininity and, that their desire for partnership. So it's been difficult for us. The last maybe 5 years, I have seen a shift in how society in general views Black women. I think
That's
we
right.
are definitely
Mhm.
on the rise. Our
Yep.
stock is rising. Amazing. I'm glad to see that. And I want to see more of it. So that's
Absolutely.
what I feel like, we're just now starting to like, yeah, we get it now, sis.
I know, right? Exactly. I completely 100% agree with you. And I understand exactly what you mean by, that, as we would say, that kind or type of Black woman, where, we're having to always balance, right? Who we authentically are and
Yeah.
the gifts that we have and the things that we can bring to the table with, how society and how other people see us and perceive us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a battle, it's a struggle sometimes because you want to be all of yourself, which may be very intimidating to some people, and some people may not know how to actually receive that and use and utilize that for their best.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because as Black women, we're used to being of service to someone,
That's
right?
right.
To our kids, to our church, to our communities, to our husbands, our brothers, our whatever. We are
Yeah.
used to being of service to others. And so I think this generation and generations after us, we're starting to say, no, it's about me now. It's
Yeah.
about me. I'm taking the reins
Yeah.
and it's going to be about me. And I think
Absolutely.
society is sort of like bucking against that. Like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to be, spending all your energy on someone else? So,
Yeah.
Especially women who are really successful, it's hard to kind of, take that back in your personal life. Like, how do you be the
Absolutely.
CEO in the courtroom and everyone is like, bowing to you? And then when you get home, how do you then go back into, this feminine space and wanting to find someone to, encourage that and see that?
That's interesting that you say that because I, know a lot of Black women who it's kind of the opposite of that, where they do, have those high powered jobs or they have those, high performing jobs where they are in there making decisions and, being the bosses in their particular area, whether they own the business or whether they work for someone else, but that they actually want to turn it off.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I can only speak for myself. Like I'm making decisions every single day about every
Yeah.
single thing, whether it's my kids, whether it's myself, whether it's my job, what I'm doing. And I want to be able to come home and be like, you know what? I don't want to have to make another decision right now unless
Yeah.
I have to. I
Yeah.
want to have that partner who is there to help me with these decisions or, is assertive enough,
Yeah.
to make those decisions. And so I think there is like two camps in that. You got the people who can't the women who can't turn it off, and you got the women who desperately want to turn it off.
Yeah.
Can't
Yeah.
find a mate who's able to step up to that and be
Well,
able to, assert themselves and lead in that manner.
yeah, I mean, I think it's all perception, right?
Sure.
If you're not seeing it, you don't think it exists.
Yeah.
So you being assertive and, taking charge and all that, they're like, okay, does she have the capacity to be soft? Does she have the capacity to, kind of like fall back and, let me lead if she so choose? Like when do you display that?
Yeah.
And you won't
That's a
get to
good
see that.
one.
You don't get to see
Oh,
that until you actually experience her in a different light. So I think a lot of men are like, if I don't see it, I don't think it's there. You know, they don't want to take that chance. So I
sure.
think they, you know, sort of focus on the women where that is who they are everywhere, all the
Everywhere.
time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That is so
Mhm.
true. That is so true that they don't give themselves a chance to see that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so you're matchmaking, you know, how do you become a matchmaker? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So
Is there a
the
science
way
to it?
I think there are sort of two schools of thought. For me, I'm going to speak for me.
Mhm.
I actually went to the Matchmaking Institute.
Okay.
I did my research and realized that there was an actual program for people who wanted to get into the business of matchmaking to say, okay, how do you run your business? How do you
Mhm.
know, what are the steps? How do you structure your business from, you know, starting your LLC to getting your website to, you know, recruiting people to getting clients? They tell you how to run that business.
Mhm.
So that's sort of like the more structured route. Other people are like, hey, I've been matching up my friends. I've been hooking people up all the time. I'm just going to go ahead and make this official. So there's some people who just organically decided to do this for money.
Yeah.
And then other people who are like, I have been a therapist, I have been a relationship coach, and my clients ask me all the time, well, do you have anybody that I can meet now that I, you know what I'm doing in relationships? Do you have someone I can meet? So they kind of, transition into also matchmaking. So it's definitely different ways of getting into matchmaking.
Sure.
In terms of the science of it, like I said, there are some people who depend on metrics to match people. So some people will go with astrology, numerology, personality types. In some countries, biotypes. It's like sometimes
Mm.
it's down to the DNA. I mean, I think there's a show on Netflix called, I can't remember, but it's based on DNA. So
Wow.
everybody's trying to find the magic bullet to
Oh, I know the
say,
one. I know what you're talking about. I know the
yeah,
show you're
yeah.
talking about. I
And
like
I
that
don't
show
remember the
actually.
name of it, so
I
sorry,
know.
Netflix.
I can't think of it either. It's
But
really good.
yeah, but they're like, everyone's trying to find the magic bullet. For me, because I think that there's half nature, half nurture. There
Yeah.
isn't going to be a exact science. You
Right.
can't just depend on one method to determine who's going to be a good match. I like to think I can match you on, all types of other things like lifestyle, personality,
Sure.
attractiveness, but that chemistry, that X factor, that's God. I'm not even gonna, get into that. That's
Yeah.
something the universe decides that, yep, the two of you are, should be together. So, yeah, it just depends on the matchmaker and
Hmm.
what works for them in terms of how they match and what the success is for that method.
Got you. And so what have you seen that has worked well for your clients?
So I typically match on three or four things. I will match on value set,
Mhm.
lifestyle, um, location, because that's a biggie. That's a biggie.
Mhm.
And then there's another one that I'm forgetting, but I base it off of, where are you in your life right now? What
That's a
stage
good
are
one.
you in?
Mhm.
And let me find someone who's in a similar stage so that the two of you can connect, right? So and it's not even about age, it's not even about, matching on specific criteria, because there can be someone who is a very mature 35-year-old who's
That's
matched with a
right.
42-year-old. So it doesn't, I try not to focus on age, but I focus on, where are you at right now?
Yeah.
What's going on in your life? What's your life vision? What's your story? And who is going to fit best within that story?
I
So
like
that
that.
it takes a lot of interviewing, which is why matchmaking is very labor intensive,
Mhm.
and why it's not cheap. So because at least for me, I want to make sure that I understand my clients and what they're really looking for,
Mhm.
rather than matching them on metrics.
Sure, sure. No, I think that is a really great way, like you said, where people are in their lives, because I feel like that sometimes is what kind of gets people in trouble, or say to speak, or like, relationships don't kind of continues because people are in different areas of their life,
Yes.
or they grow at different rates.
Yes.
You know, the
Yes.
growth level. And so, yeah, being able to match a person who are similar, when they're similar in their times of life, that I see that as being a really good metric, or I guess criteria, so to speak. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Okay, so you're matching them. So let's run through the process. I'm coming to you. I want to get matched. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
then and you said you have long conversations with your clients. Do you do that also with the ones that you're trying to mate them with as well?
Yes. I make sure that everyone fills out like a basic profile so that I have something to work off of. And then I'm asking questions, like clarifying questions, like you tell me, one of the questions is, what do you want your ideal partner to know about you? And then some people will have like a book. They will have a whole book. And other people will just kind of have like bullet points. And so, for those who are bulleted, I'm like, okay, well, tell me more about that.
Yeah.
I want to know, because I really want to know their story.
Sure.
And, I'll say, okay, I get your stories. I'll say for my client, I got your story. What's the type of relationship that you want? Because it's not necessarily about the criteria, because I think people focus too much on the criteria and not what type of relationship you want.
That's good too.
What's the relationship that's going to work for the life that you are living today and the life you want to live in the future? Right? So
absolutely.
What's going on in your life? What's the relationship going to look like? And what are the characteristics of a relationship that's going to fit in with that? Because, you might be a lawyer right now and a type A personality, and you want to go live on a lake. Okay. I need to know that. I need to know you want to have like, an easy breezy life where you're not based off of a clock and all this good thing. So I'm getting your story, and then I'm now going out and looking into my database, looking, this is all pre-COVID, because COVID has completely changed. And I'm sure
we'll talk about that. Yeah.
It's completely changed how matchmakers have had to source for their matches. But before that, my job is to go out and look for that type of person. So, if they are all about that lake life, okay, well, who's on a lake this weekend? Or who's talking about that on a Facebook group, or who enjoys doing outdoorsy things? And then finding those people, getting their story, having them fill out a profile, some fantastic pictures, hopefully. And then, sending it to my client to say, hey, I have some great options for you. What do you think? And if they both are interested in seeing the other, then my next job is to create an experience. Okay. Most people think, oh, I'm going to go on a date. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have dinner. No. I want you guys to have an experience together, because it's experiences that bond people quickly.
That's right.
Not an interview, not, an expensive dinner, and you're not impressing anybody. I want you guys to experience something together, because you can really learn something about people if you experience how they operate when, the guards are down.
That is so true. That is so true.
So you're able to say, okay, wait a minute, we're at Top Golf and you didn't like how I beat you, and now you're being petty. So it's like, you want to know if he's, he or she is, petty boots.
Right,
and that's not gonna work out. You want somebody who is easy, laid back, and, outgoing, and they claim that they're easy, laid back, and outgoing, but when you beat them, they're like, oh no, the date's over, let's go.
That representative went out the window.
Exactly. And you're not going to get that with dinner and drinks. So I try to create experiences, and then afterwards I get the feedback, which is a great benefit of matchmaking, because you usually don't get that. The real deal, like what did you really think of me? And what did you really think of the date? So I'm getting the feedback, and then if they both like each other, then I'm saying, hey, you guys go off and continue that connection. If it doesn't work out, that's all good. I'm getting feedback anyway. I'm getting an understanding of why. And then we'll use that feedback as a stepping stone for the next connection.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's really good for the client to get that feedback, right?
Yes. Because
So,
they may not know that, they are expecting to be wooed. Like, I've had some clients where they kind of just sat back and was like, prove to me that you supposed to belong.
you are worthy
No.
of my time.
Yes, like no, just because you're a client of mine doesn't mean that they are bowing before the queen or the king. Like, no, like this is a two-person thing
Absolutely. Hmm.
and you should treat it as such. So yeah, that's good feedback.
Yeah, it is. And so, okay, so then you match them up, and if it goes well, then it obviously continues. And if it
Hmm.
doesn't, then on to the next.
Yep, on to the next.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what has been your success rate, so to speak?
So my success rate is usually pretty high, around the 80% mark. And this is the reason
Wow.
why is I don't send people on blind dates. Blind dates, it's a crapshoot, and I don't want to. I don't want to deal in crapshoots. My business, I want to stack all the cards in my favor. So I want to make sure that the both of them have bought into each other before they go out on a date. And then the experience with each other should kind of solidify the things that they have said on their profile. Hopefully they told the truth. Solidify that they both enjoy the experience and they enjoy each other. And most of the time, 80% of the time, they want to continue to date each other. I'm actually I have a client right now. She had a connection on her first introduction, and I was like,
Wow.
okay, well, on to, is it on to the next? And so I think she's like, I kind of want to hold on to the first one, and I'm like, hey,
Right.
listen, do you? If you like this guy, I did my job.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's having a good time, and it's almost like whoa, whoa, whoa. At first she's at first she's kind of like, okay, yeah, this is people think of it as a dating service, kind of like this sort of revolving door of
Yeah.
people sitting down and interviewing and then moving on if you don't get a connection. Like, no, like you're really out here dating and meeting real people, and so she was
Okay.
kind of like, whoa. I actually had a really good connection with this guy. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to see the other person now. It's like,
Wow.
sometimes it works out that way, and those are the great stories. I love those stories.
So, what kind of mindset should a person be in, or have when they're coming to
Mm.
your services?
Oh goodness. So I've had a lot of characters come through my phone, all wanting to do matchmaking, and the ones that usually end up working with me have an open mindset. They realize that they are coming to me because they are not able to find something on their own. So,
Mhm.
one, they want to understand why, and I help them understand why they're not finding what they're finding. And I help them see things that they may be blind to. If they're not open to constructive criticism, if they're
Mhm.
not open to doing things differently from what they are used to, and if they're not used to sort of handing over control,
Yeah.
and the things that they are, things that they think is what should happen, then it's not going to work out, right? There's
Mhm.
a reason why you've reached out to me. Your way has not worked.
Hasn't
So
it
don't
worked?
try to push your way onto me because you're wasting your money. And
Right.
we all gonna be mad when you don't have a good match at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So I
basically
love
hiring you to do the same thing that they've been doing.
facts. So don't, when you hire me, just let me do my job. That's all I say. Just let me do my job. I know there are some things that's probably going to make you uncomfortable. Some questions I'm asking, maybe you don't want to answer or might be a little too deep for you, but I trust and believe there's a reason why I'm asking. And there's a reason why I
Sure.
am recommending that you do things differently because you want a different result. That's all at the end of the day. You want a different result.
That's right. That's right. And so, do you find that after you explain that to your clients that they are receptive to that, or do you still have some pushback?
I'll have pushback every once in a while. I mean, even with the client that I just referred to, at first she was kind of like, I was like, no. You should go. You should go on this date. I trust me, you should go on this date. And it ended up working out. You know, she really liked this guy. I mean, to this day, they're still in you know, talks. They're still dating on their own. They're on the phone all the time. I'm like, girl, do you? And it's like, had she gone and done her way, it would not have gone past the first date. Or it wouldn't even have started. They wouldn't even have met.
Okay.
So, you know, I find that people who allow me to say, no, just try it my way, please. Just try it my way. If you don't like it, it doesn't work out, I will not push. But those who are open and receptive, flexible, those are my favorites.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sounds like they have a growth mindset. They're able to kind of see things differently. So you spoke on it a little bit about COVID, the pandemic. Now, obviously, a little over a year ago, we were all shut down. And I mean, if you were dating, that was amazing. So obviously, during that time, not much was happening. But as we started to open up and where we are now, take us through how the pandemic changed matchmaking and dating.
I'll talk about just the business of it. You know, our lifeblood is our network. It is constantly refreshing that network. You know, people over time, they come into our database and they were single at that time. Well, then, you know, 3 months later, they may be booed up. They may be not, you know, they may be on their way to getting married. So we constantly have to, you know, be out there recruiting or meeting new people or just, you know, telling people, hey, you know, I have a matchmaking company. And if you're single and you're interested in that, let's do this. So that has stopped. That stopped it like cold. And so couldn't go out, couldn't network, couldn't recruit, couldn't do nothing. So you had to find, innovate. And it's the same thing with dating, right? It's everybody was feeling the same thing. You couldn't date. If you did not have a boo that was COVID friendly, if you didn't have a pod, like a COVID pod, you was just SOL, okay? Like it's the same thing for the matchmaking industry. So we had to jump online, you know, just like everybody else did. You know, online dating apps had a dramatic increase. You know, social networks, forums had a jump when everyone was just basically sat down and said, you can't go anywhere. So we did the same thing. We were like, okay, I still need to find matches for my clients. How do I go about doing that? We did a lot of collaboration with other matchmakers. And I do that anyway. I mean, I have some of my favorites that we're all kind of like, okay, well, you know, we help each other out. But for the most part, you know, we really had to, you know, come together as a industry and say, okay, we may be, I mean, what I love about this industry is that we, for the most part, are very collaborative.
Oh, that's good.
It's not a huge competition. Like, no, this is my database. This is my database. No, you can't. No, well, you can't. You know,
that would be very limiting if you did that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Very limiting. So, you know, it's been helpful that we all kind of rallied and helped each other out. You know, I myself created a Facebook group for singles. And that helped me out because that was nationwide. And I was able to, you know, find matches for my clients and also take on clients who were not local. You know, I had clients in New York and Philadelphia, and there's another one that wants to sign on. He's in Indiana. So, you know, it's one of those things where it was okay to do that because we're all online now. Everybody's, you know, kind of in that 2-3 degree of separation now. So that changed it. But in terms of actually meeting people, child, nobody want to do nothing. It was like everybody had cooties and I'm going to die if I go outside. So no, I'm not meeting anybody in person. No. And I don't feel comfortable with Zoom or I don't feel comfortable with, you know, meeting them online because people want to touch and feel and experience
energy when you meet someone face to face, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So it was difficult for people to wrap their mind around virtual dating.
Mhm.
Some decided to go for it. Others just like, nah, I'll wait. I'll wait till the, life opens up again.
Right.
So, there's a lot of people who held off on matchmaking or halted their matchmaking service until this kind of blew over and we were able to open up. So we are very thankful that we are sort of on the bottom of the bell curve. It's not over by any means, but we are towards the bottom of the bell curve. Things are starting to open up nationwide. People are starting to be more social again, doing more in-person events. And so that's helped us to kind of get back to a semblance of normalcy.
Okay. And so you see people coming back to your service, or you see that you're getting refilling your database, so to speak.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's always helpful. It's always helpful. Getting new people in and saying, oh yeah, I wanted to do it in 2020, but COVID, so I kind of want to start now. And people are like, yo, I've been at home all year.
Right.
I'm ready to be out there.
I'm ready to go.
I'm ready to hit these streets. Let me
For
in
sure.
these streets. So they're excited. They're excited to be out. They're excited to be meeting new people and having an opportunity and having they're just having an excuse to meet people.
Absolutely. No, I think that is very exciting. And it'd be interesting to see over the next few months how many people come to your service or are ready to do that.
But to your point, though, normally the spring, summer months are so the matchmaking, I say, is cyclical. Mm-hmm. So it goes up and down. Spring and summer months are usually low because everybody's out. Why would I do a matchmaking service when I'm out here in these streets? So it's not until the fall, holiday time.
Oh, when we want to get booted up.
Exactly. It's starting to get cold. Baby, it's cold outside. So people want to get booed up. So, it's going to be interesting to see how, now that life is opening up again, how the spring and summer months do with people wanting to do matchmaking. So is it going to go back to the way it was before, where it's cyclical, where it's low, or people are just like, nah, I'm out. Let's do this. So I'm interested in that. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool to see. And so you're a relationship coach as well. So do you give that type of advice to your clients or to the couples? How do you work that in?
Yeah. So I do life, date, and relationship coaching for singles and couples. And to be honest with you, I love that. That's my favorite service.
What do you love about it?
I love helping people get their own fish. Mm. I love when people have breakthroughs. I love when people are like, well, dang, I didn't think about it that way. I didn't know that one little thought or that one little belief that I had was completely affecting my results. So being able to open people's mindsets or change just one little thing is going to change your life. One mindset change can change your life. And that's what I really signed up to do. It's not just about putting butts in seats. That's really not it. The point is, I want people to have longevity in this, and you can't really do that without touching the mindset.
That's right. That's right. I love that. There. Yeah, it starts with the mind. Everything, anytime we're trying to transform or, grow, it starts with your mindset and how you think and the thoughts that you think. So, my podcast is about overcoming adversity. Can you tell me about a time that you've had to overcome adversity or overcome some type of challenge in your life and how you did it?
I'll say, related to this business, it was tough. It's tough being a matchmaker, a Black matchmaker, first and foremost, in a industry that is not really for us. Okay. Didn't really have us in mind. And it was even more difficult to say, I am going to match specifically women. Mm-hmm. One, it's difficult matching women. Two, it's difficult matching Black women, and it's difficult matching Black women as a Black woman.
Mm.
So,
Why is that? I mean, you're a
um,
Black woman, so wouldn't you know well, not that we're a monolith, because we're not,
mhm.
but wouldn't you understand a little bit more so than another race of a woman what Black women want in a
Yes,
mate?
yes, I will say that it's not that. It is getting the matches.
Okay, I get it.
Um, it is saying these Black women are attractive. They are desiring a man,
Hmm.
or, I mean, desiring partnership. Let me just say that,
Yeah.
desiring partnership. Um, and I had to get past our stereotypes.
Okay.
We have to get past what society deems Black women to be.
That's right.
And so I'm looking at my counterparts who are mainly focused on our Caucasian male um, friends, and they're charging these price points that are like, clutch your pearls. This being an industry that is very new to our community, there's
Hmm.
no way that would value this service
Sure.
to justify that price point. And that's the mentality that I had to get over.
Yes.
When I first started, I had to get over that. I had to stop thinking that my people, my sisters, are not willing to pay and don't see the value in this service.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's probably taken me a good 2 years to be able to say, yeah, if we want it, we can afford it.
Sure. Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
afford it. If it's something that we desire, we think it's important, we can afford it. We can find it. And I had to value my business and my service and my effort accordingly. So it took me a while to be comfortable raising my prices. So I was like, oh my God, no one's going to be able to pay for this. Oh my God, like I'm asking for too much. I was in my head a lot,
Hmm.
until I went to a matchmaking conference, and they were like, girl, if you don't raise their prices, like, what are you doing? Your prices are indicative of how you value yourself and your
Right.
business. So if
Right.
you're undercutting yourself, they're not going to value you. It's one of those things where I had to be like, yep, my people, they're going to support it, because I'm gonna be focused on my specific demographic.
That's right. Hmm.
I had to
Hmm.
be very specific about my demographic. I had to tailor and brand my business to a very specific person. And if you don't fit that, that's okay.
That's okay.
That's
That's right.
okay. That's totally fine. There is somebody out there for you. Not
Hey,
me,
there's
but there's somebody
somebody.
out there for you.
Right, right, right. Just like it is, there's
So
somebody out there for everybody as a mate, right?
everybody can
And
eat.
so,
Everybody can eat. Everybody can get served, just not with me.
yes,
So I had to come to that realization. And, now I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do just like everybody else. I'm going to price my service as I see fit, because one, I know that my ideal client can afford it and they value it in this way.
that's right. You're right. It comes down to the valuing, right? As
Mm-hmm.
coaches, we have to, like you said, sometimes we have to like explain or defend our
Yes. Oh
prices.
my God. All the time.
But
All the
to
time.
the people who understand
Mm-hmm.
who coaches are
Yeah.
and the value that they bring, and
Mm-hmm.
like you said, personal development.
Yeah.
That I think is the key part, because a lot of people don't buy into the personal
Yes.
development, which
Yes.
that in and of itself to me is a limiting belief, because it's like
Yeah. It's
people
not
don't.
tangible. It's not
Right,
tangible.
right,
Right.
right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if you understood and you knew that your mindset, again, like as we talked before, is what starts and begins everything that you do and, and sustains you
Yep.
throughout. And that's the key part, sustain, because a
Yep.
lot of us can get started in a lot of different things,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And can get going. But then when that adversity comes,
Yep.
when, you know, those ups and downs comes, when triggers happen,
Mhm.
you know, what do? Do you fold?
But you know what? You fall back on your subconscious.
That's
and if
it.
you're not able to train your mindset to change your subconscious and your thoughts,
Yes.
it's you're gonna revert back to the old thinking.
Right. Yeah.
So if you can't change your mindset, you can't change your life.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. And I think that's a part where I feel like, you know, I think we're doing better. I think social media and things like that is helping to spread that message about your mindset. I have my own personal story about how my mindset, when I was able to identify the things that were holding me back and that was limiting me in my life. And when I was able to actually start focusing on that and changing that and working through that, how my life changed tremendously. So, you know, I'm a walking, talking example of what coaching can do. But I think it's one of those things, like you said, it just has to be, people have to understand it and know it. And those people who do, they don't question the price.
Yes. Oh my
God. They understand the value and and also too, because not only is it intangible, but it's also long-term.
Yes.
Sometimes you might not see the benefit immediately.
Come on. You preaching now.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
So you got to play that long game.
Yes, it's the long game. And I think, you know, so long, I mean, especially when I first started, I had to provide that. Like, they're like, well, what am I getting out of this? Like, what can you guarantee me? That was the word. What can you guarantee me? I can't guarantee you nothing. You have to guarantee yourself. What are you going to bring into this service?
Yes.
What are you willing to do?
Yes.
Because if you're not in, I can't do nothing for you. I can't guarantee nothing. It's just like, you want to lose weight, you hire a trainer. You think that trainer's going to be, you know, forcing food down your throat or making you wake up at 5 a.m. to get these workouts in? No, it's you who has to do the work. All we can do is give you the tools and show you and be a mirror to you. Ask you the clarifying questions to say, what's really going on here? Am I doing things? Am I thinking things and doing things that's pulling me away from my goals or pushing me towards it? And then tools to help you stop those triggers when it happens and to make a different decision. That's all I can do. Yeah. It's on you, boo. After that, it's on you. So I had to explain that. And it's very hard for people who aren't already thinking that way to be yeah, okay, I get that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that was one of the reasons why I became a coach, is because I saw how some people just didn't even know the power that they have inside of them and don't even know that, hey, you know, you don't have to be the way that society has told you that you are, or that your parents have told you that you are, or even the way that you think that you are. You don't have to be that way if you don't want to. If you want to be that way, that's fine. No judgment. But if you're wanting something more, or you're wanting something different, or you want to elevate, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. You are not your circumstance.
There you go. You're not.
You don't have to be. If you're an adult, you don't have to. Yeah. You can decide today, I am not doing this anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. And that you want better, or that you want different, or you just, So that was one of the main reasons. And I feel like that was probably one of the reasons too, for you, that you wanted to go into it, to help people, you know, change their circumstances, change their life.
And it's a beautiful thing at the end of my programs, where you can, I mean, and what I do is, or at least I try to do is, I have them go back to where they started, and they can literally see the change. And they're like, oh my God, like, I can't believe it. And, you know, I'm not going to toot my own horn.
You better toot it.
But after 8 years, being able to know exactly who my ideal clients are and only focusing on that, and having programs that's going to give them the tools that they need, you know, being able to kind of like hone in on what that really is as of today. I mean, most of my clients, especially my coaching clients, they just kind of like come out like, wow, like, I so needed this and I wish I had done it sooner.
Mhm.
And I wish more people valued coaching. And it's not even just relationships, right? It's life, career,
Sure.
everything. Any type of goal that you have, you need some support. Get a coach because they will be your accountability partner. They will be the ones
That's
who
right.
are pushing you, and it's so worth it. It's so worth it.
It really truly is. And, I definitely, again, speaking from experience, I had a career coach, I had a life coach, and all the things that for myself that I said, okay, I want to take to the next level, or I
Mhm.
want to do this. And and not being afraid or ashamed to say, I don't know how to do it on my own.
Right, right,
I don't know how to
right.
do it on my own. There's no pride there. I
Mhm.
don't know how to do it on my own. I
Yeah.
need help. And
Mhm.
that accountability part,
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
someone who is going to hold you to what you say you want to do. And the thing about coaching is coaching for, your clients, those are people that are coming to you. You're not
Yeah.
going and get people
Yeah.
off the street and say, come coach.
I mean,
These are people who are ready,
yes.
to change their lives and are
Yes.
ready to do the work.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yep.
so amazing. I'm such a woo-woo person. So when you said you actually take the couples back to at the beginning for them to see
Mhm.
themselves and how they change, that's amazing to me. I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah. I love that part because they're just like, I mean, it's kind of like looking, and I always compare it to weight loss. You don't see it,
Mhm.
day to day.
Yeah,
Sometimes you feel like nothing's happening. You get on that scale and it's not showing you the numbers. And it's because no, your body's transforming,
that's
and you
right.
don't really see the difference until you go back to the very beginning. And you
Mhm.
see that difference and you're just like, wow, like, okay, maybe the scale is lying to me because I'm over here building muscle.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
over here like losing, or being more healthy.
That's right.
This is healthy
It's
weight
in the
now.
little things. It's in the little things, and you
Mhm.
can't get caught up in what you see or what you don't see, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You can't
Hmm.
look at what is. You got to really focus on where you want to go and what
Yeah.
who you want to be and where you want to go, because it's that
Hmm.
vibration is what's going to carry you.
Yeah.
You can't look at what is right now, because that what you see right
Yeah.
now is not telling the whole story.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh
Mhm.
wow, I could just sit here and talk to you all day about this stuff
Yeah,
because it is
that's
amazing.
why
It's wonderful.
I love being in this business because it's something that I can literally talk about all day. We can talk
Yeah,
about one subject and just go to town. And I love it. I really do.
absolutely. I do too. What's next for you? What's going on?
Oh, wow. So, with this whole pandemic thing, my podcast, I stopped doing my podcast. I kind of, thinking about picking that back up again. I do want to do more speaking engagements. It's just, finding the time to do it.
I know.
Raising, would be teenagers. I have preteens right now.
Oh,
And so I'm kind of like want to give them more attention just because
sure.
they're in a different spot in their lives. They're going to be both in middle school next year. So I'm kind of like, balancing life with my business. And, I definitely want to make sure that I am positioning my business so that I can still enjoy life, but
Mhm.
I'm also serving, my clients in my community. So we will see.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Well, I'm excited to see, because I know there's going to be some great things, and I appreciate you taking the time. Now, if my listeners and viewers want to learn more about you or your
Mhm.
business, where can they
Mhm.
find you?
So definitely my website, elisimone.com. I am also on Facebook. I believe it is Julie Wadley or
Mhm.
Eli Simone. You can research either one. And then if you want to, talk, if we want to talk, definitely go to my website. It'll have like a little pop up that says, come schedule some time with me.
Awesome. Well, you
Mhm.
guys, listen. If you're ready, you're ready to find that one. Okay, women, I'm talking to you. If you're ready to find that one, hit her up, talk to her. You never know. You never know what could happen. It's
Yes.
an opportunity to go out there and perhaps meet your match. So I'm so excited for everyone. And yeah, girl, I'll probably be hitting you up too after this hot girl summer.
Listen,
Okay.
you know what? You listen. I always have my eye on you. I was like,
I
girl,
know.
you just give me the word. Give me the word, girl. I got something for you.
Well, after this hot girl summer, I might hit you up. So we'll see.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad.
You are so fun. You're so fun. I love it. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you soon.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good night.